Give me more Vibracore.
What are you talking about, Duffy?
I'm talking about
More feel.
I'm talking about more power.
I'm talking about
More forgiveness.
I'm talking about
More winning.
We're talking about all new Vibracore.
Absolutely the longest and best peeling irons you'll ever hit.
We're talking about Mike Weir and Alex Chaka. You know these guys know.
Pound for pound, nothing comes close.
Welcome back to Big's Golf Talk BGT TV, and the segment is sponsored by Tour Edge Golf. Pound for pound,
nothing comes close.
Golf's most solid investments. The clubs that Bill and I play with, and we love our Tour Edge clubs. Matter of fact, our Tour Edge clubs puts us in third place as a team in the Spark Golf League. So still many weeks away for us to get back into first place.
Yippers.
Bill's doing well as an individual too. He's number one in the New Mexico market.
Whoa.
So
I'm moving up. Yippers.
But I know you guys wanted to finish that story, and Amanda couldn't help but laugh about Bill's getting hit in
the head.
I know.
I was hoping it would knock some sense into
those.
I know, unfortunately. No, I think a lot of people discredit like the amount of or the level of injury you can have if you're not paying attention and you're giving too much credit. I don't care how good you are. I've towed shots. I've shanked shots. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Tiger Woods has shanked shots. So I think with that said,
I've been paired up with guys, and as I'm hitting my shot, they're walking, and I'm a left-hander, and I'm like, dude, you're walking on the wrong side of the golf course.
Right. You just never know. And it's not even so much that like Bill said, it wasn't even a direct shot at him. It was a ricochet. Oh. You just never know. Even, if someone's hitting and they're going to hit through a gap between trees and I'm sitting in the cart kind of next to them, I will duck down because if it hits that tree and comes back, it's just pretty serious. I was telling Bill earlier today, a really good buddy of mine, this was 10 years ago, playing on a golf course, came through and hit a tree root. Well, normally the injury for hitting a tree root is usually you blow out your wrist, your elbow, like something in your arm.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, he made the impact. He came through and he hit that root so hard that he blew out both sides of his groin. Oh. He tore both sides because it did nothing to his arm. He just had so much force, and he was in a wheelchair for, I think, almost 6 months recovering. And it was really awful. And so those at home, not that you have to be scared and you're going to get injured, nothing like that. But I think giving it credit where credit is due and keeping your head on the swivel, and not when you're out with, this random person or anybody for that matter, don't stand right up next to them.
Be aware.
Be aware. Pay attention. Don't be over on your phone, not looking, and they're taking a swing and you get hit in the head.
Nope. So, and you can be in behind them, to the side of you can be anywhere.
You just still need to pay attention. And I think golf, a lot of new golfers, oh my gosh, I see it at charity scrambles all the time. The volunteers driving around will just drive out in the middle and we're hitting. And they're not aware of what's happening. And I'm like, you get hit with a driver, you're going to be in rough shape.
And 9 times out of 10, those guys are in open carts.
Yeah, 100%. So anyway, it's just interesting. Obviously the tee on the tee box situation. I
know I have hit drivers that my tee wounds up upside down for some reason.
Okay,
but still, it's a.
I don't know how your foot perfectly.
That's the weird thing about it.
You don't walk like this.
Yeah.
Like you walk
they do have those shoes that are very thin and lightweight.
Yeah, like Roshi's and
And
stuff.
some people don't like to wear socks.
Oh God, I
mean, I don't know.
can't
That's the only
imagine.
thing I could think of. I mean, yeah.
Well, we talked about like I said, I'm not saying it's better or worse because I've
And
experienced.
probably more than likely it was spikeless shoes as well.
Oh, probably, yeah, because the soles on the cleated ones are so thick.
Right.
But I told Bill, not that it makes it any better, but at least the nail is sharp and it would just pierce quickly and go in.
Yeah.
A golf tee to me would just like wedge itself in there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. That's not.
You right here, folks.
Golf sucks.
No.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of comments on this brand. No, I'm not. I don't have a partnership with them or anything.
You can plug it. It's okay.
No, but this is Travis Matthews, and I can't tell you when I travel. I have 2 shirts that say "Golf Sucks." It's their women's cloud line, and I use it because I think I'm satirical and ironic, and like I love that kind of stuff. But people comment. I had a lady in the airport that was like, "Yeah, it does. You're right," and I was like, oh no, like professional golfer, like this is just a joke.
It's just a joke. It's a metaphor, you know? Yeah, it sucks to be rich.
I know. Yeah, right. So yeah, right. It's money sucks.
It's entrapment because he's like, yeah, no, it doesn't, bitch. I'm just
right.
I'm just trying to get all these reactions, you know.
And then, and then I had an airline stewardess that saw my hat and it said Backswing Golf Events, and then I had on my other Golf Suck shirt. She was like, I'm a little confused. I was leaving the lavatory and she was like, I'm a little confused. Your hat is a golf company. And I was like, yeah, that's my golf company I own. I said, this is just a joke. And the other flight attendant was like, I told you it was just a joke. I was like, man, they're stirring it up.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let's get back to some wedge talk here on BGT TV Bigs Golf Talk. Now, I talked about as we exited our opening segment about the weight of the wedge. Now, Bill, do you like a heavier wedge? Do you like a lightweight wedge? I mean, what do you like?
I like a heavy wedge, but for the heaviest wedge, I've been blessed to play with a few of the pros, and I did a Cobra Puma event in Florida, and nobody wanted to hit Lexi Thompson's golf clubs. So they were giving us time, all the media people to hit Bryson DeChambeau's clubs, Ricky Fowler, and Lexi Thompson. And nobody raised their hand when it came to Lexi. So I did. And Lexi's golf clubs were the heaviest. And when I mean heaviest, you could probably put 2 or 3 of my heads on a golf club and it wouldn't feel as heavy as her golf club felt. I never have felt anything that heavy. So I know she added, the steel and stuff on it. So everybody's different. I don't know if I could generate anywhere near the speed Lexi Thompson can do, but I don't like that heavy. I don't know if Amanda adds the extra, tape down the bottom, those little steel pieces, but that was the heaviest. I didn't even know that you could do that, and legally play with them.
So Amanda, let me ask you this. Do you have less spin control with heavier clubs or more spin control with heavier clubs?
So here's the thing. With wedges, your wedges, according to the standard of what any fitter will tell you, is that your wedges are supposed to be your heaviest clubs in the bag.
Okay.
I do not like heavy wedges, period. I want to feel the weight of the club. Sure, I want to feel it, but I want to feel like it's all working as one unit. I have very light. So I rip out my shafts of any wedge I get and I put the super light shafts in. But on the other side, most women on tour, I say most, are playing like 95, maybe 90, 95 gram shafts.
Mm-hmm.
I play KBS 120s, so I swing what a lot of guys swing. Like a lot of my guy friends play 120s. I like to feel like the club is doing the work and I'm not. But to answer your question about spin control, I think for the wedges, the idea is you do get a little bit more spin with a heavier wedge because the club is doing the club head is doing more of the work and you're able to kind of pinch down on it more. Because mine are so light, I will say that when you miss it, you're missing it thin. You're not because you're kind of coming up out of it.
Yeah.
So I think that there's probably a little more spin control.
Gotcha.
With the heavier wedges, and that's why they do it. I just personally, I hate swinging that heavy of a wedge. I don't know why. I've always been opposite, and every fitter I go to really struggles with me asking for super light shafts.
That's interesting. Yeah, I play with the KBS as well. The shaft I rather have, stiffer, but heavier. I don't know. I like feeling the bounce.
Do you know what for your irons? Do you know what your shaft weight is for your irons?
No, my whole entire set's with KBS.
KBS. I know. I wonder if they're they're probably, I would think at least mine are stiff 120s, but I lose distance. I'm not going to lie. Like if I was swinging a 95 gram shaft, I'd hit it 20 yards further. But here's the problem. I cannot control it.
Yeah,
so my accuracy, and I wouldn't say 20. I would say it probably gained maybe 8 yards per iron.
Yeah.
But for me,
it's about the dispersion.
Yes, my accuracy is dead on, even when I miss it.
Because there's less waggle in the shaft.
Now,
the shaft is harder to. It keeps you more consistent.
Right, 100%. Now, Biggs, do you particularly like a heavier wedge?
I do.
A lighter? Yeah,
I do.
Most people do. I'm the
and I'll tell you something. For that reason, because I don't have to swing as hard, and that's probably why my short game is so good. Is because it's just a normal swing, and my upper body does not turn with the wedge until after I contact the ball. Where my irons, I have a tendency of squaring up before the ball even gets hit, and which causes me to either pull it or slice it, either depending on what the head is doing. But I like a heavier wedge. I have tried lightweight wedges. We have, as a matter of fact, a company that Bill and I know, an independent company out there, golf company. They make these lightweight wedges, and when I tried them, they were good. But then I tried my Callaways, which is a heavier. I mean, this 69 degree that I have here, it's a heavier wedge.
Yeah.
It's almost the same weight as my Callaways. That's why I feel, I think this might be a good club for me at that 20, 30 yard, area. And, and probably, like if I want to take a flop shot over the bunker right onto the green, that's only 10 yards and not a whole lot of green to work with.
Right. And I think that's a big key element. Like you said, you're not overworking to hit the shot you want to produce. And I will say, with my wedges, I do have to work a little harder to achieve the shot I want. I will say the heavier wedges also, it's easier to flight control.
Right.
I struggle. Because they're light, I hit everything quite high. I can't really, even when if I were to close the club face and kind of almost smother it to get it lower, I've got to be pretty particular with how I do it, because you're either going to over smother it or it's just the flight is a little different with mine.
And I'll tell you what, man, my wedges, I hit them high. I asked Bill, and I hit them straight, for some reason, I could never get my irons to go that high or even come close to that high, where it's just a general arc and not a high shot.
Yeah.
I wonder if you might benefit from the one length clubs.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. If they hopefully you never know. Torres might come up with a set that's just all one, and somebody like you your wedges, you kill your wedges. It's incredible watching with the wedge and the accuracy on it. But
Yeah.
you know, you when you get to those little longer clubs, it's a little more difficult for you.
Right.
So that's when you start
And I'm
having your
wondering
early
if that
shots.
has something to do with arm length, because I don't have like regular. I have shorter
Long.
arms than a normal
Mhm.
person has.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah,
just,
I think. I mean, you got to think about it. Like these guys that are 6'4" and real, like the college kids that are super skinny, real lanky.
Mhm.
Their wing, I call it wingspan, but their wingspan and the amount of arc they get and the amount of centrifugal, I guess,
Centrifugal force. I'd
I-
say that.
yeah, I think that as they come through, they're generating more speed because of their wingspan.
right.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
you're here and you're not able to generate as much. Like it's just different. And I see that in the flip. Like my body, I have no torso, I'm all legs. And so even when I'm like in the gym and I'm squatting, my squats are going to look a lot different. And how they say, oh, your knees can't go over your toes. Well, my femur is twice as long as most people. So yeah, my knees are going over my toes for sure.
Mhm.
But I think that goes back to golf and what you said, Biggs. Like I think that plays a huge part. Like if you don't have an arc as big, you're not going to generate as
You're
much
not gonna
force. You
generate
have a
the speed.
shorter amount of distance to get up to that speed.
Yeah, I agree. But we shall see.
We shall see on the 69-degree
How
wedge. And
healthy.
see how-
Yeah.
So Amanda, what do you got going on? I know this is the last segment before you take it off, but what do you got going on
Just
this week?
gonna travel, go to the ShopRite. I'll be at Atlantic City, New Jersey for the ShopRite next week, playing in some pro-ams and just actually enjoying a week of fun pro-am golf, getting to watch some professional golf. These girls are so good. And just enjoy.
And we'll get to hear about it next week, folks.
Yes,
Hopefully
you will.
we get some good details of what's coming. We know that Greg's been covering the Epson Tour events,
At
so we're
Mission
going to be
Hills,
talking to him today about that.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things. Women's golf is growing. The purses are growing. I don't know.
They are growing.
They are growing, and it's a good thing to see. There's talks out there about live. Going into the women's side, some people.
Wait a minute. There was a little on Amanda's side. Amanda, are you not for the live female division?
No, I am. I just, man, we saw all the commotion that the men generated, and I was just thinking about Nicholas's recent comment about the live tour, saying that basically he considers them, he doesn't think about the live players, they don't exist anymore.
Wow.
And
yet,
I just think about
won.
yeah, right, I know, but for someone of his stature to say that and to say basically like, and he's like, well, I don't mean anything nasty by it. Well,
let me ask you this: we know the purses on the PGA Tour, if you win, they're pretty generous and stuff like that, but the LPGA is, even the Epson Tour is not there. It's way
it's trash.
it's far away.
It is so bad.
Can a women's division under live, and these girls seeing the same money as the men? That's what Greg Norman is saying. Could
Can
that
you-
put
can you
LPGA
imagine
out of
that?
business?
I can't. Like that's next.
If they
Next
offer that kind of money,
Every single
the
girl
women-
is saying, "Screw you, LPGA."
LPGA would be, I believe. At
I mean,
that
would
point,
you make that move, Amanda, if you were on a tour?
You know, freaking heartbeat. Let's go live. Let's go. 100%.
So that's the thing. We learned that even Harry Varner III, when he said, he goes, you know what? I want to build a legacy. I want to build a fortune for my kid and my grandkids and everybody else.
Because just a couple of years ago, Harold says, "No, I'm never going to live. I'm dedicated to the PGA Tour."
Well,
guess what?
Money talks and the BS walks.
I'm telling you, any job that you have, okay, and I don't care if it's in the sports world or anything, if you offer $10 million, or I'm going to just say $10 million a year, and they're only making $1 million a year, guess what? I'm making that switch. I'm making that jump for my family.
Here's my thing. If you're traveling already and like playing golf, like someone like me, this is not going to be an opportunity for me, but let's just say it was. I'd have to really think about, I'm really enjoying being home all the time and like already and like doing that type of thing. But someone that's playing, like you take a Lexi Thompson who's working her butt off and traveling across the nation.
World.
You get to tell her you can play literally half the amount you're playing now and make 80 billion times what you're making now.
And have the same travel schedule.
And and it's
not
the
even.
same thing.
Yeah, not even, because I think Liv only plays 3 rounds.
That's what I'm saying. It's cut. Your play time, your travel time is all cut down. So why?
Sign me up, Batman.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, the PGA Tour will sustain this, or is sustaining this.
Yeah.
But can the LPGA sustain it?
I don't know, because I know that Liv, granted, Liv doesn't stress about the ratings because they're still growing and trying to go, and they're funded regardless. So
they're on the CW.
Yeah, the LPGA wants the ratings for the women, but then they also sabotage it, and because they won't use what women have to get the ratings.
I'm going to say 2 things. I actually watched Live Golf maybe a week ago, whatever the heck it was.
It's gotten better.
Okay.
And I actually enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the commentary. They had a different woman on. They didn't have the one that they had before that was whatever. And 2, with women, when it comes to the women will always get the short end of the stick, even in wrestling. I watch wrestling with my kid, and Biggs knows we're big wrestling fans. Anytime something goes wrong, you know what happens? They take it out on the women. The women's matches get shortened. They get cut time. They get all kinds of things that still happen to this day.
Yep.
So if the Live Golf really pushes, I think the LPGA will crumble.
I agree. It'll be interesting to see. So
let's see what happens.
Let's see, folks.
It could happen.
Yep.
All
right, we're going to pay attention to that and see what's going to happen. If we hear anything more, we'll bring it to you right here on BGT TV.
And next week's segment on the 69 will be Big Golf Talk. Nope, that's the wrong segment. Different show.
Amanda.
Hey, eat a hot dog at the turn for me, boys.
Eat a hot dog.
Eat a hot dog.
The Lord will take care of this whole thing, and may Bill protect his toes. That's all I got to say.
Oh, boy. I want to.
I need some stuff from our guest coming up on the second half.
That makes me cringe.
I got questions for them.
Yeah.
Because, between sciatica, and it's all connected. Everything is like connected. Whatever happened to my toes is happening down that leg, and it's driving me nuts.
Well, stop breaking them and getting them hit.
It's not my fault. It's
by the way, we got to get to it. Coming up next, and Bill, I need my distance on shot number on the 10th tee box, because Shot Scope is coming up next here on Big's Golf Talk. Stand by and see what they have to say about what they got new in 2023. We'll be right back right after this.